What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB coming to you tonight with the review for Cloak and Dagger Season 2, Episode 9, titled Blue Note. So, without further ado, you guys, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into the video and get it started. I'm so man. I have a surreal feeling right now with this episode, and it's not the episode. Well, yeah, it is the episode because we only have one episode left. And next week is the finale. So let's go ahead and sit back and talk about Cloak and Dagger. Okay, so next we see Ty. So Ty is in a motel room and he is drawing of a vein. He's trying to find Andre. So then Tandy comes in and she's like, so, are you able to, at least locate him or anything? And he was like, no. And, she's like, what do we do if we can't find him? He was like, if we can't find him, then we'll go look for him on our own. And then Tyrone wants to ask Tandy, he was like, so, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? And she was like, no, I don't want to talk about it. And if you ask me to talk about it again, I'm going to have to kill you. So then, Tandy's like, well, how will we even be able to find him? So then Tyrone tells her, well, Evita told me that, Andre came looking for Auntie Chantel. So, who's to say that he found what he was looking for? So then Tyrone says, what, Tandy, I actually have an idea and I'm gonna go follow up on it. He was like, so are you gonna stay here? Like, what are you gonna do while I'm gone? She was like, you go take care of what you're gonna do, and I can go follow up on a lead on my own. She can go track down some leads on her own. So Tyrone is like, so what do we do when we catch him? And Tandy's like, well, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross that bridge. And then we see Tandy. She's calling her mom on her phone, and it's going to voicemail. And she just leaves a voicemail for her mom. So once she hangs up the phone, she sees that Michaela had texted her, and Michaela was just texting her like, hey Tandy girl, just texting you, trying to catch up with you. You see if you're okay. So then Bridget shows up, and she's telling Tandy like, stay the hell out of my way. And, Tandy says, well, that is not happening. So you can forget that one. So then, Bridget says, well, get in the car because I'm finna follow up on the lead. So then Bridget is telling her how, they had arrested some girls, I guess the night before. And that some of them were, booked on, warrants that they had. And then the other girls were released. And then, she's like, okay, so what happened to the ones that were released? So like, it's kind of strange because, we can't find them. And that's typical for when you release, you release girls, they go back to their captors. And she's like, okay, so what about the ones that are in jail? She's like, and that's the other part. So the ones that are in jail, they're going like really crazy. They're like, climbing the bars and everything. And, she's talking about they're humming this weird tune. And I guess it's a tune that they're all humming together. So then, Tandy asked about if the girls had mentioned anything about Andre. She was like, no, they haven't said anything about Andre at all. So then the lead that Bridget was following up on was Leah, in the field that Andre left her in. So, it's some paramedics there, and Tandy's like, what, you cannot put her in the back of an ambulance because, okay, I finally got what Tandy was what she was doing. I guess she was trying to say that Leah, if she woke up in the back of an ambulance, she would think that, she's being trafficked once again. So instead of putting her in the ambulance, let us take the bitch and we gonna do whatever with the bitch. So then, Bridget's like, so what are we going to do with her when she wakes up? And, Tandy's like, we're going to make her tell us where Andre is. And she's like, well, what if she doesn't wake up? It's the same situation. I'm like, well, damn. And she's like, well, damn, Tandy, I didn't know you would be a murderer. Tandy says, neither did I. I'm like, Tandy, I don't know. Like, a part of me wants Tandy to kill Leah, but a part of me does not want her to kill Leah. Because I feel like if she were to kill Leah, that would weigh heavily on her heart. But a part of me like I said, the part of me that wants her to kill Leah is a part of me that, the bitch tried to sell you to a a creepy ass man to have sex with you. So that's the part of me that wants her to kill the bitch. But we just gonna, like, I really want Tina to kill that bitch. I really wanted her to just stab the shit out of her. Ugh. So then we see back at the hideout is Bridget and Tandy there. So Tandy goes inside of Leah's mind to try to, see her hopes. And, once she goes in there, Leah is unconscious in her head. And there's a door that Tandy can't get through. And she comes back. And, she tells Bridget, like, what is what. And, Tandy wants to hurt the bitch at this point. But Bridget says no. Maybe, what if Tyrone can go in there and open the door and, because he's the only one that can, when there's no hope, he's the one that can go in and, bring them back. And, Tandy's like, what? That just might work. I'm like, why are we letting her live? Anybody let me know, why are we letting Leah live? Leah should be dead, or at least in jail. Like, I would have just dumped the bitch in a lake or a river or a stream, whatever, the ocean, wherever. The bitch would be swimming with the fishes. Literally swimming with the fucking fishes. All right, you guys. So we see Ty, and Ty calls his mom, and he's just basically checking in with his mommy. Well, his mom. Oh God, that reminds me so much of my mother. Cause I used to do that to her all the time. Like, hey, ma, just checking in. Seeing how you good. And we see Ty, and he's watching this kid. His name is Solomon. I think that was that kid that set him up a few weeks ago with the gangs and everything. It is the kid, the one that set him up when the gangs went to his mama's house. So yeah, that's the kid. His name is Solomon. So he's following him around, and he asked Adina, like, how's Connors doing? And it's like, who? Huh? It's like, Connors, mom. Detective Connors. She's like, oh, he's good. He's in there, just chilling, still tied up. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, damn, she killed him. Like, in cold blood. And speaking of blood, we see a newspaper, and the newspaper just full of Connor's blood, and she just throws it in a fire. And I'm like, I get her strife, but damn, she really sat there and killed that man in cold blood. But you know what? He killed Billy, so it's an eye for an eye. I just hope Adina can live with herself knowing what she did. I really do hope she can do that. So then we see Tyrone. He walks up to Solomon, and there's this paper that Solomon has, and on the paper it's Luke Cage. I'm like, oh wow. So we mentioned Luke Cage. Man, I'm so bummed about Luke Cage, because when I was about to start, because I had it saved on my queue, and I still have it saved on my queue on Netflix. And when I was actually about to get deep into watching Luke Cage, they canceled Luke Cage. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I was bummed and pissed. I'm like, damn, now I'm not even gonna have, now there's no reason for me to even watch this show. Kind of like with Fox, right, when they canceled The Gifted, because I actually had The Gifted on my list of shows to watch and review. But since Fox canceled The Gifted, I am reviewing that, so that's a done deal. So we find out that Solomon actually can't even read the paper, and Tyrone reads to him and tells him that the article is about a rumble that Luke Cage had gotten in. So then Tyrone is asking Solomon for his help to set up a meeting with the gang members. And Solomon's like, I don't know if you necessarily want to do that, homie. Like, that ain't what it is. Like, they tried to kill you the last time. You might not be so lucky the next time. And I'm like, Tyrone, listen to him. So then Tyrone gets a phone call, and Tyrone tells him, hey man, check into that for me and get back with me. So, he's like, oh, I guess he's like, shit, I ain't got no choice to do with him. So then we see Ty, and he shows back up with where Tandy and where Bridget is. And he didn't realize that Bridget was there. And, he's getting ready. He was telling Tandy, well, he looked and he said, I met with somebody. And Bridget's like, who did you meet with? And he didn't answer her. So then he sees Leah on the ground. He said, is that Leah? Is she dead? And she was like, no, she's alive. She's like, Andre, dumped her. Should have killed her. I'm not going to say that he should have killed himself. So, she's telling him what's going on with Leah. And he was like, do you think that's a good idea to to do that? And then she was like, I don't necessarily know if I have a choice at this point. So then we see as they both enter Leah's mind. So then once they're in there, Ty is still trying to talk to Tandy, like, Tandy, I still don't know that this is a good idea. And she she's gonna do what she wants. Tandy is headstrong. I do love that about Tandy, but then there are times that I don't love the headstrong personality of her, because it does typically get her in trouble. So then we see Andre and Leah, they're talking. So Andre was telling Leah, like, you went to school to be a doctor because of your dad. That's not your passion. Your passion is music. And he was like, what did he say to her? He wanted her, he was like, you care about me, right? If you care about me, come with me. And I'm like, damn, he giving her like pimp mentality, like, Jesus Christ. So then we hear this cello, and we see a young girl playing the cello, which we can assume is Leah. And then we see Leah's parents in the audience, and then Tandy has an idea, like, you know what? I know a way to get to her. And she asked a young Leah, can she take the sheet music that she had there? And she took the sheet music. And I'm like, okay, Tandy, you know what, y'all, I think I mixed some scenes up, because I remember now, which I think I may have mixed some scenes up, but it's all going cohesively together so far. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna start this episode out where it opened up, and we're just gonna talk about Andre for this whole segment right here. So we see Andre, and we see him, it looks like he's at a jazz bar. So, he's talking to a guy about, the music that he's getting ready to play. So, the musician in me wants to really 100% love Andre, but then the human side of me is like, fuck Andre, he's a piece of shit. So, he's playing his trumpet, and I'm like, that is music to my ears. But then I'm like, wait a minute, this is the same asshole that is trafficking women and using that to get, using their despair to make himself feel good. So I'm like, damn. Like I said, I'm just like the musician in me was just conflicted the whole time. Like, I love his music, but I hate the bastard at the same time. So then out of nowhere, he gets a headache and he just passes out on the stage. So what we were seeing was the past. So we move forward and we're in the present. So in the present, we see Andre, he's still in that record store. And then we see a section that had Melissa Bowen. And I'm like, so what has he done with Tandy's mom? Because I'm like, that's Tandy's mother. All right. So then we see a scene, and Andre is out in the streets. He's just wandering about and kind of confused as to what's going on. So I'm thinking this might be a past scene. So then we see it was 92 months before, I guess, before the present day. And, we see Andre. So he's in the rain, and it looks like he's standing in a window. I wasn't quite sure where he was standing at. And, he's crying. And you can tell that he's contemplating committing suicide. And so there was a lightning bolt that lightning that flashed, and he fell. So then we see him, and he is waking up in the hospital. And who is his doctor? None other than Leah. So she tells him that he did jump and that people saw him, and he was just talking about well, yeah, I mean, how would you feel if you lost your one true love? And she's like, who did you lose? He was like, my love for music. And I'm like, I mean, I definitely get it. I mean, I've lost my love for music over the years, and I'm slowly, coming back to my love of music. But I've never gotten to the point where I would want to kill myself because, I lost my way with my music. Definitely won't come to that point. So she's like, well, you know what? I think I might be able to help you. So then, she touches Andre, and it's kind of like you can hear a record, like if you put a record on a record player, and when the record starts to scratch, that's what that sounded. It sounded like a record scratching when she put her hands on him, and she kind of froze for a minute. So then we jump back to the present day Andre. So this present day Andre, he's in a record shop. Now in the record shop, there are absolutely no records in the record shop. It's been cleaned out. So I'm like, okay, so did someone go in there and just, destroy all the records? I was kind of confused at that point. So then he sees this one record, and it resembles a heartbeat, and I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, is that his heartbeat and his love for music? So he plays it, and then later we see Andre, and he finds another record, and it kind of resembles a rainbow kind of cycle, like one of those kaleidoscopes. It kind of looked like a kaleidoscope / rainbow. So and then we see in the lobby it's him and Leah, and Tandy and Tyrone had went into Leah because what we're seeing is I guess Leah's so Tandy can see Leah's hope. What can Tyrone see? It's gonna let me know. I forgot what Tyrone sees, but is it anguish? What is it? I forgot. But they are so Tyrone asked Tandy, because like I said, they're in here in Leah's mind, and Tyrone asked her what is she doing, and Andre says, yeah, it's Tandy, what are you doing? Okay, and then so then Andre says that there's nothing that they can do, and basically he's telling them what he wants. What he wants is an audience full of despair, so that he can hit a blue note to become a god. And Tyrone was like, well, damn, Tandy, you didn't tell me this motherfucker was this crazy. I don't think she even knew how crazy he was. And they talking, he's telling them about how they've been dealing with their powers for 8 months and tried dealing with it for 8 years, and he just wants it to end. And I'm like, once again, this motherfucker is crazy as shit. So then we jump backwards again, we jump forward from the 92 months to 85 months in the past, and we see with the outreach that what's his name, Andre and Leah had came up with. We see women coming in one by one, and also we see in a record store, like records just piling, records just adding to a collection, which is his collection of despair. And like I said, once again, like he is just a piece of shit that I just do not like. Like I say, the musician in me wants to like him because he's a musician, but he's an asshole and he's a piece of shit. So I'm conflicted. But I know how I feel about him. I don't like him. Okay, so lastly, you guys, so we see Tyrone. He gets a call from Solomon. And, Tyrone tells Tandy that he is going to be having a meeting with the gangs. And Bridget's like, the gangs? The same ones that you got in trouble with the last time? She's like, I'm coming with you. He's like, no. So he teleports out and leaves her there. So, once Tyrone leaves, it just leaves Bridget and Tandy. So Bridget, at this point, she got her gun. And she's like, it's time to kill a bitch. And Tandy's like, no, you're not killing her. And, Bridget says the same thing that I just said a few minutes ago. Like, she tried to sell you. You, of all people, should be ready to kill the bitch. But, like I said, I don't think Tandy wants that to weigh on her heart. And then Tandy tries to reason with Bridget, saying that she's a victim. Now, how do I feel about that? Yes, she is a victim of Andre. She's a victim to Andre. But, she willingly complied with with everything he wanted done. So, yes, like I said, yes, she is the victim because he used her, he manipulated her, but she's a grown adult who knows right from wrong. So, I don't 100% agree. I don't 100% agree that she's a victim. She's a victim of circumstance, but she's not innocent in all of this. So then we see, Tandy and Bridget, they fight with one another. So, okay, so then we see Tyrone. He is teleporting between the gang members. And, he is telling, the gang members that, the use of drugs for trafficking, rape, anything that a person does not consent to is off limits. And they're like, well, that's our biggest money maker. It's like, I don't care what your biggest money maker is. I'm telling you, it's a done deal. And if it continues, you're going to have to deal with me. So then we see Bridget, and Bridget basically tells Tandy, like, girl, whatever the fuck happens between you and her, that's on you. I'm out, deuces. Don't, leave me the hell alone. So then Tyrone tells Tandy that, the gang members told him where Andre was, and that he was at one of his old stomping grounds. So then Ty says to Tandy, once they go to the old stomping ground, that if they have to kill Andre, they'll do it. And they'll do it together. I'm like, that's right. One for all and all for one. So, now they are in search of Andre. And then, in the club, Tandy's like, we're in the wrong place. Like, they played you. Like, you fell for that shit. So, then we see Andre. And Andre, he's getting ready to play his trumpet. And then we see him, he is playing his trumpet. So then they walk outside of the club. And Tandy sees something. And she's like, maybe this was not the original spot for the club. We got to find the original spot. So then, Tyrone teleports and they find the original location. And it was actually burned down, or it had been destroyed. So, we see, like I said, Andre, he was playing his trumpet. And he has an audience in front of him. And in the audience, we do see Michaela there. And Tandy's telling her to go home. But it's almost as if they're in a trance. And then Tyrone says, Tandy. And, she's like, what, Ty? And we see that it is her mom there. So, Tyrone is like, Tandy, we're not going to make it in time to, get to him. We're not going to make it up there in time to, stop him. He's like, throw a knife at me. So she throws one through him, and then he absorbs it, and he shoots it at Andre, who then passes out. And then when that happened, all the people that were in the audience in the trance, they disappeared, and no one knows we don't know where they went to. So then we do see Andre, and he's in his and actually I forgot to mention. So when he was playing his trumpet, the Vivet was lighting up. So we go back to the record store, and you can see the door that Auntie Chantel, he was trying to get the help with from Auntie Chantel. You can see the light behind the door. So Andre walks up to the door, and he pushes the door, and you can hear an MC, talking about someone getting ready to come up and play. And you can hear a crowd cheering. So then Tandy and Tyrone, they could hear, the music playing, and I'm like, do you hear music playing? And that is where the episode ended, you guys. So like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later. Man, so like I said, next week is the season finale of Cloak and Dagger. So I hope you guys have a great night. Peace.